that pretty center? Welcome back to the channel, everyone. My name is Mario. In today's episode, we got something new. It's a little bit of a rare car, definitely something some people might not even know of. It's a 1976 912E. There was roughly 2,500 of these made, and yeah, I got my hands on one. So it's a very interesting story with this car.
Hi, Mr. Victor, bro.
So everyone always says Christmas came early this year. Christmas came late this year, though. Santa wasn't the best rapper. I'm just kidding. So, new car showed up. Got a few phone calls about it. Cops showed up over here too. It's just a big church parking lot. The driver couldn't enter residential, so let's take a look at it. So from the first glance, the front end is super high. It's probably because there's no gas tank in it. It had quite a mission. It's probably about 2,000, 2,500 miles. I don't know. She made it. It's so funny seeing this thing wrapped. A bunch of this came off. Hey, but it held up, not bad. We have to figure out how to get this thing home. There's no gas tank, so maybe I'm gonna put a ratchet strap up around it and kind of just tug at it. Or we might just be able to bump it from the rear. This is gonna be my first look. This thing looks crazy, to be honest. Sheesh. This thing's straight from California. Probably its first time ever seeing snow, maybe. The little bit we have right now, but I need to get this thing in the garage before it actually comes down. It's only about like a quarter mile that way and on the right, so we'll see what happens. Got Papi Chulo out here in the Honda Fit. It's pretty light. It's a 4-cylinder, so we got put a little blanky power right there. Transferred a few of the parts, so I'm not breaking them when I'm leaning in this chair. Yeah, he's gonna try to push me, so should be pretty straightforward. We'll see. This is what you call a run and drive right here. Boom. We got this sucker home. So it was pretty easy. The white 73 was a big fail. We tried to get 4 dudes to push it. It's so much easier to just put something and give it a little push. So got it here, put it in the garage for now, do a little overview a little later. So it's a freezing day here in the Northeast. I'm gonna go ahead and just unwrap this car. Gotta get a better look at it. So I'm gonna go ahead and take the stuff off the rear and the top and then as well as the front. Let's get to it. I'm gonna go ahead and take out some of the crap in the interior. I'm gonna snap some photos over to RJ and Brent at WD Detailing so they can see the inside of it. It's pretty nasty, so hopefully they can take care of me. We'll get this thing cleaned up before we start really digging into it. So got the driver's seat out. As you can see, it's pretty crusty in here. I'm gonna go ahead and kind of sort this stuff and put it all in this one big box. Looks like there's a lot of interior kind of panels there and a lot of the trim and sunroof parts there as well as in that box. So yeah, hopefully we can get this thing cleaned up and just have a nice slate to kind of work off of. So it's a very interesting story with this car. Basically, the previous owner bought it to restore it for his mother. She was about 75 years old at the time. They bought it from a mechanic shop that actually painted the entire car. As you can see, all the seals, all the trims off. It had a fresh paint job 15 years ago. So she's about 90 plus now, and they realize that they're not going to get to it. It's going to be, a little bit of time before they actually get restored, and she's not going to get driven. So he contacted me. I ended up saying, yeah, it's a cool project. I'll take it. And I bought it probably almost 2 months ago. And just with the shipping delays, everything going on, I ended up finally getting it transported from California to Ohio. It had a crazy wrap job that he did on it, which I actually said I wanted because I didn't want to get an enclosed trailer because it would have been way too much. So instead, he wrapped this thing up, put some kind of wrap as well on the glass because the glass is actually completely loose and out. So it's going to be a little bit of a project. It's going to be headed to WD Detailing to get this thing cleaned up, make it look good so I actually can work on it and not just be working in a bunch of dusty, crusty, musty stuff. So without further ado, let's do a little walk around of this bad boy. So the interesting thing about these 912Es is they're actually a motor out of a 914. So Porsche basically had a spare 2,000, 2,500 motors after running the 914s, and they didn't want to scrap them. So they went ahead and put them inside 911 bodies they started producing. So this thing is definitely pretty crusty. It has acorns, leaves, mouse droppings, you name it. So after these things sit for a while, they definitely get, you know, pretty beat up and the elements get to them. So I think I'm gonna either drop it and send it out to an outside source to get completely rebuilt. I have a couple buddies that might have contacts of people who can rebuild this, and you know, go from there. It should be a fun one. So going to the front of the car is actually sitting a little bit higher than usual. There's no gas tank up here, so they probably removed it when they were painting the car, and you know, it's gonna be completely needed to get it out once the car has been sitting for so long. That fuel is no longer usable. So I'm gonna have to source the gas tank. Not a huge deal. There was a lot of kick up and debris when this thing was getting transported. There's rocks, salt, a bunch of dirt just everywhere from, you know, everything getting kicked up from the road. So the guys at WD Detailing, you know, they shouldn't have an issue with that. It should come out super clean in here, and I'm looking forward to have like a clean slate to work off of. So the interior is pretty bare. Both door panels are missing. Some of the parts for the door pulls and stuff are with the car, but a lot of the actual panels and the carpets are missing. But overall, looking at the interior, it's pretty nice compared to some that I'm used to. The floor pans look 100% solid. I'm not surprised since the car's from, you know, California. So they're pretty dry over there and no real issues. Everything's solid. I don't see any rust bubbles at all, which is pretty crazy. A lot of people use these for donor cars to put a 911 motor into, to make it an outlaw, make it kind of like a more performance driven car instead of the 4-cylinder. But everything looks original in here. It just sucks that, you know, it's sat outside because some of the components are definitely crusty. They're kind of broken up just because, you know, they probably got wet or kind of, you know, just some kind of buildup of moisture, and then it dried again. So that over time just gonna make things crumble. The seats are actually in fairly good shape. The passenger side is better than the driver's side. Those are gonna get redone. The dash looks in great shape. There's no cracks like there usually is, but overall this thing just needs a really good cleaning. The headliner's falling apart, so that thing's gonna get redone as well. And just a lot of TLC that's gonna have to get into this car, but it has good bones, and yeah, it should be a really nice one going forward. Is that pretty center? Yeah. Yeah, 1, 2. Perfect, dude. Wow, that's caker than I thought. We used to do this when I was a little kid, man.
Is it the ramps?
Like, it doesn't look like it's touching, but then it might be. Oh yeah, dang it. Yeah, I'm dumb, dude. Just gotta reverse it real quick. Okay. I knew there was one more thing missing. I was just like, but when I went to go check it, it was flat.
Yeah.
Because I started reversing already, and I was like, oh, what the heck? As soon as we started going, like basically, yeah, the ramp's supposed to be like this up the whole time. But when we went, it was like, we used to help my dad when we got auction cars for a while back in the day. And then that's just one of those last steps. You got to do it all slowly and cautiously. So we got the car loaded on the dolly. Pretty easy, straightforward. Forgot to put a pin on the ramps, but got that taken care of after, you know, driving it a little bit. We're headed to WD Detailing. RJ and Brent should be opening up the shop to let us in. It's starting to come down, drizzle a little bit, which isn't a huge deal. The car's been wet before, so it's a little head start for them guys, you know, get everything wet for them to get a little bit easier detail going. So we should be here in a few minutes, and yeah, unload this thing. Made it. Time to unload. I'll just even put a ratchet strap on it. Yeah, dude, it was all taken apart. They took out coaster back. Just like that, boys.
We could put it in spot 28 right next to Mike's car.
Right here. You want me to put it back ended? So we made it out here to WD Detailing. Brent let us in. We got the car off the dolly. It was pretty straightforward, super easy. Car super licensed, the 4-cylinder. We're gonna go ahead and pull in one of the spots. They're gonna get to it here shortly. And yeah, get this thing cleaned up. So in the next video, we're gonna see this thing shined up and looking a little bit closer to how it should be on the road. So that's gonna give us a good kind of clean slate to start working off of troubleshooting. Hopefully maybe pull the motor and kind of see where we go from there. Hope you guys enjoyed seeing the 912E. Hope you guys learned a little bit about them. Do some research. I think they're also going to have their claim to fame soon since there's only so many that actually came out. I hope you enjoyed. Be sure to check out the other air-cooled videos. Subscribe if you haven't done so already, and I'll catch you guys next time. As always, be blessed and be superish.
So that's pretty much it. It's your standard red Porsche.